across the Emerald City. We are ready for Sunday afternoon hoops. The Drumheller Fountain from Upper Campus here at the University of Washington as the Dogs get ready to host the #2 team in the nation, the Stanford Cardinal, who have won 20 or more games 22 seasons in a row, and they sit atop the Pac-12 standings 10-1. They've won 5 in a row since dropping that one contest to SC. But the Huskies moving up those standings at 4-7. They have won back-to-back games, including against Cal on Friday night. Hi everyone, I'm Elise Wood. We're joined by Alyssa Charleston, former Hooper at Idaho. And everybody circles the game schedule and when Stanford is in town. You're going to get a packed house here today in Seattle. And this team is special. Once again, #2 team in the nation and a national title contender. Why are they so good this year?
Well, 75 straight weeks in the top 10 by the Associated Press. That's pretty special, but really it's their defense this year. They're the #1 team in field goal percentage defense. It's their length. They're so active. They're going to make you do what you don't want to do, and they're going to make that hard. So Washington has to be confident today.
Yeah, speaking of defense, the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year last year, Cameron Brink, a little bit under the weather, but it looks like she's going to play today, and she is so good. A triple-double with 10 blocks last weekend. She's unstoppable as a shot blocker.
She is the human eraser. I mean, she had 16 in the weekend against the Oregon schools. She's gotten smarter. She's gotten more mature with the fouling. She's been such an important part of this defense, and she's also their leading scorer and their leading rebounder. She does it all for Stanford.
Yeah, she's really putting together a special season. For the Huskies, the transfer, Delia Daniels, playing against her former team on Friday night. The Cal Bears put up 20 points, and she is really the key, the focal point of the Washington Huskies on both ends.
She's got to set great screens, and she's also going to get a ton of touches. She's their leading scorer and rebounder as well for the Huskies, and she's great around the rim, great hands, a really good runner in transition. She sprints, and she's really good on the pick and roll. That's where Washington is bread and butter on offense. She's had 2 great games. They've had 2 straight wins.
Daniels plays with a lot of fire. So does Cameron Brink. Can't wait for that matchup here today. The #2 team in the nation, the Stanford Cardinal in town. The Huskies nearly pulling the upset off last year on the farm. Went down to the final minute. They have some confidence they can maybe stick with the Cardinal here today.
You're watching Pac-12 Network, where champions play.
Welcome back to Seattle, Washington. The Washington Huskies at 12-9 this season overall, taking on the Stanford Cardinal at 22-2. For the Stanford Cardinal here today, Cameron Brink under the weather. Tara Vanderveer didn't know she was going to play today, but she's a tough one. She's in that lineup along with Hannah Jump, the outstanding three-point shooter, Haley Jones, all 3 of those in double figures with the freshman Talana Lapolo and Emma Nopu. And Tara Vanderveer, the leader for the Stanford Cardinal, 5-time National Coach of the Year, 3-time national champion. Has been to the Final Four back-to-back years with this squad, and so much talent still on that team from the national championship squad. For the Washington Huskies, Jada Noble coming off a game of 10 rebounds at the point guard spot. Trinity Oliver, Lauren Schwartz making career start 101 today. Haley Van Dyke, the 5th-year senior, and Delia Daniels, who had 20 in the win against Cal. Tina Langley in her 2nd year as the head coach of the Dogs. Guided the Rice Owls in her previous stop to the NCAA tournament 2 separate times. The highest winning percentage in school history at Rice. And building this program, nice crowd out here, as there always is when the Stanford Cardinal are in town. The target on their back, they're always the team to beat in the Pac-12 conference and certainly nationally as well. Lisa Woodward along with Alyssa Charleston. What do you look forward to about this one, Alyssa?
Well, Washington has played so many close games in conference. Only 1 game has been lost by more than double digits, and it was to Washington State in Pullman. So they're going to step up for this. These 2 going at it, Delia Daniels, Cameron Brink, they have not really faced each other because Delia played guard at Cal, so Cam never really guarded her much. I cannot wait to see how they defend each other.
The Stanford Cardinal, the visitors in the all blacks, the Huskies in the whites, and it is Delia Daniels winning the tip. Gets it into the hands of Haley Van Dyke, and we are underway. Our officials, Benny Luna, Darren Sesnick, and Nicole Leon. Daniels working on Brink. Cameron Brink just one block away from tying her career high. In the paint, Daniels goes right at Brink and scores the first bucket of the game.
That's Washington to a T. The pick and roll in small spaces. They're great at passing to each other.
Here's Brink on the other end, takes some contact, flips it up, no good, gets her own rebound in traffic, nearly stripped. But the Cardinal will have another possession.
Rebounding will be key in this game. Stanford leads the league in rebounding margin. Washington not far behind.
Brink. Shot rims out, and the Huskies get the board. Here's Trinity Oliver, a sixth-year senior. Number 33 in white. Now Schwartz. Huskies like to work the shot clock, now at 5. Schwartz gonna have to get something off. And it's taken away. Haley Jones with the pick. And a beautiful feed. And again, the Cardinal come up short. Agnes Imanopu unable to hit the layup, and it's off of a Cardinal, so it's going to be Husky basketball.
And that's Stanford going over the top of screens on Lauren Schwartz. They respect her shot. They respect her jump shot. They want to make everything hard. And that's Stanford. They're not just blocking shots. They're long, so they make every shot harder. They affect everything and everything you see.
So Stanford starting slowly, 0 for 3 from the field. Huskies with just one attempt. They're 1 for 1. Schwartz seeing Brink, turns around, and a shot clock violation. So Cameron Brink won't get credit for a block on that possession, but she definitely got credit for a stop.
Presence is enough. All you have to do is look at a few games ago against Oregon. 10 blocks. The first player since Ruth Hamlin of Oregon State to get a triple-double with blocks. Just a human eraser at the rim.
Trying to go down low, and Imanopu cannot hit Cameron Brink on the block. So the Husky defense, which has been consistently stingy, giving up just 58 points per game. They are one of the top defensive teams in the Pac-12 conference. Down low, Trinity Oliver.
Everybody's second guessing once you're near the rim. That's all we've seen so far. But playing smart.
Daniels going at Brink, and gets called for the carry. So again, the looming presence of Cameron Brink defensively causing the turnover.
She thought about it. It almost looked like she was going to go into her classic scoop layup shot. Second guessed, and that is truly Cam Brink just being there.
Again, Stanford trying to hit Brink on the post, and a turnover. Hannah Jump airmailing that pass, and the Huskies will take over.
And we're so used to Stanford being really efficient, but they're 10th in the Pac-12 in terms of turnover margin right now at minus 1.3. If Washington can take advantage of those, you can keep pace at the very least with Stanford, but you have to be able to score at the same pace as they do, and that's not easy.
Stanford has played in some tight games as Schwartz comes around the screen and knocks in the mid-range jumper.
Cutting it close to her own offensive player, leaving no room for the defense.
And now Haley Van Dyke sliding with Lopolo. She is so versatile defensively. The ball off Lopolo, and another Stanford turnover.
And here you see Jada Noble is always seems involved in a good offensive bucket for the Huskies. She's the first to cheer on Lauren Schwartz. That momentum is key.
Turnover there, trying to get it to Schwartz, tipped away. Lopolo looking for Brink, hits her left-hand layup, good. And Stanford finally on the board here. 3.5 minutes gone by before they get a bucket on the board.
And it might be quietly, but Lopolo has as many assists as Haley Jones this year, and she's a freshman. She had one game with 11 assists and no turnovers.
Another jumper good by Lauren Schwartz, who has really come on during conference play, averaging nearly 13 points per game. Cameron's stripped away. Oliver getting her hands in there. 3 white jerseys surrounding Brink, but it'll be Stanford ball.
Back-to-back Schwartz buckets. They're chasing her on the screen, and the defender trying to help just isn't there in time, even though it is Cameron Brink. Lauren Schwartz just pulls.
Hannah Jump finally getting a touch. Her 3-ball is off. Over 40% career from deep.
So impressive. We saw her shooting in practice, just automatic.
Van Dyke gets it in the lane, and they swing the ball. Such a patient offense. They are 3 for 3 to get things started against Stanford's defense.
And this is the perfect pace for them. Washington wants to slow this game down, keep it in the 60s. Stanford wants to move, run in
2
transition.
on the shot clock, gotta let it go. Daniels gets it off and in, just beating the buzzer. The officials marking. They're gonna take a look at it at the next dead ball to see if that left her fingertips. But if it stands, 4 for 4 field goal shooting for the Dogs.
Pretty good. That's how you want to start.
Haley Jones, 1 step, and that jumper is true.
A foul down low. I think it's wiped off.
And so you are correct. So Cameron Brink will take a seat with her first personal. She played through an early foul against Oregon as part of that triple-double with the 10 blocks. But she is under the weather. And so with that personal foul, she's going to take a seat on the bench.
She said post-game, she even looked over at Tara and said, "Coach, I have a foul. Am I going to come out?" And Tara said, "No, I'm going to trust you." And that's one of the things she loves about Cameron is how she's matured with blocking shots, but not getting into too much foul trouble.
Trinity Oliver gets the defender to bite on the pump fake and now gets it to Daniels. Looking for contact, no call, and Stanford takes it away. Rapolo, head on a swivel, hits Dimitri, and it's good.
She got off against Oregon when they really needed some three-point shooting because Stanford as a team is shooting 29% from 3. Dimitri came in, hit 3 threes against the Ducks, and that really lifted them offensively.
Brooke Dimitri, 6'3", and an excellent three-point shooter. Hard to really affect that shot.
Shoots it way above her head.
Here's Daniels once again, shot clock winding down. She triggers the jumper off the back rim, and Dimitri with the board. Now Haley Jones gets it inside. Kiki Uri off, and good footwork, and is able to split the defense for 2.
Really unique athlete, so explosive, has one of the highest verts on the team in terms of power, getting up off the ground. You can see her having a really bright future at Stanford just by that move alone.
Just a sophomore, and again, the depth for Stanford's front court. Nobody deeper in the country. Noble triggers the 3, and that one off the rim. And Stanford is going to clear the board. These two are 2 of the best rebounding teams in the Pac-12 Conference. Haley Jones getting in the lane and flips it up.
So impressive. She has every shot. There's such a wide range and mix of shots that she can make. At 6'1", she's really 6'2", and one of the best ball handlers in the country.
Tough angle, and she cashes it in. Schwartz can't connect on the jumper, and that's going to be out of bounds. On the air ball, it's going to be Stanford basketball. So Stanford, a 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes and change. Haley Jones, how good are you? Stanford Cardinal in Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies, and at one point led by 11, but Washington on a 5-0 run has cut that lead to 6 for the number 2 team in America, and the number 1 team in the Pac-12 standings right now at 10-1. So the officials going to the monitor. Darcy Reese catching the pass in the restricted circle and going up for the lay-in, and Talana Lapolo coming over on weak side defense. And they're going to call this an intentional foul, and I frankly don't agree with that call. I know there's contact made and you always want to protect players, but her elbow wasn't extended at all.
No, and that's a typical move of a post player to bring it down just a little bit on your way up to the rim, and Talana Lapolo is inside the restricted area. Again, great hustle to get over there and try to take the charge, but her face is more at the level of Darcy Reese's elbow, and she was trying to gain her balance and go up. It's a hard one.
And Darcy Reese at 6'4", Talana Lapolo listed at 5'7". And As a guard, I remember those days. Sometimes your face got right there at elbow level. Broke the nose many a times.
In the middle of the action. Sue Bird does. She knows. Wouldn't you have 5 broken noses?
Sometimes by her own players, her own teammates accidentally in her. But you hope Talana Lopolo is okay. She's been such a key for the Stanford Cardinal, the true freshman running that point guard spot. Haley Jones across the lane, misses everything on that one, and Schwartz comes away with a rebound and a foul on the Cardinal.
With the way Haley's been shooting, you thought that was going to go down. She was 4 of 5 before that shot. Both teams about equal. They've both taken 15 or 16 shots, and Stanford has made just 2 more, but they've been great at the free throw line. 6 of 6.
Delia Daniels running this chin offense, the same offense that Tara Vanderveer has run at Stanford for years, and take the bucket off the hoop. They say a moving screen. So Trinity Oliver's jumper won't count. And in that foul going against Delia Daniels, that is her first personal.
And for how many screens Delia Daniels has to set in this offense, she's got a master's degree in screening. I'm surprised it doesn't happen to her more often. It's impressive that it's hard to count all the time she's gotten that call.
Cameron Brink down low, beautiful offense, executed perfectly.
Awesome screen action. I think Hannah Jump was involved in some of that. Tara has worked tirelessly and coached. We've got to get better at screening. It's going to create more playing time for everybody if you screen well.
Schwartz sees Cameron Brink in the lane, tries to get it to Trinity Oliver. Instead, it's going to be over and back. Another good defensive possession.
Yeah, great screen by Hannah Jump there on Delia Daniels. And it's so low to the basket that the help defense, there is none. You're so close to the basket already. So great job by Cameron Brink to just turn and shoot.
They tried to get Brink the ball early in the first quarter with a couple of turnovers. That time, really one of the first times she's been able to get truly free of the defense for an easy bucket. She's got 4. Trying to get it to Jump, and now Daniels out ahead of everybody on the run, and she'll put it in.
Tough fall by Cameron Brink, but
right back at ya. Deadly, the sniper Hannah Jump hitting the 3.
Can't relax for a second. Have to get back if you're Washington. Hannah Jump just hanging out down in the corner.
Hannah Jump, when her feet are set, it's money. I mean, you just feel every time she lets it go, it's going to go in.
No doubt. It's so consistent.
Oliver, jump shot off the front rim. Brink with the board.
That's the shot Stanford wants Washington to take right there. Contested fadeaway jumper.
Excellent defense by Jada Noble, moving her feet, stripping Haley Jones. In the lane, if she would have turned around, she would have seen she had a wide open jumper. Ladine steps into her mid-range jumper. And the second bucket of the game for the freshman Ladine.
Very pretty. Again, the presence of Cam Brink initially slowed down Jada Noble, but Ladine took advantage.
Now, some teams have gone right at Cameron Brink. The Huskies have not tried. And the offensive foul drawn against Cameron Brink. Delia Daniels, I love that competition. They are 2 real competitors, and unfortunately for Cameron Brink, that's her second foul, and so she's going to have to take a seat.
This is what I was so excited about, these 2 playing. They're similar bodies, 6'4", love to score around the rim, not afraid to be physical.
Gosh, I tell you, that's a tough call against Cameron Brink.
It is.
I love when you're a post player and you're physical, and they allowed Daniels to do that on the other end too. Like, you want that as the Huskies getting another bucket. Ladine heating up. Hannah Steins, the true freshman point guard, injured against Cal, unable to play today. And the other freshman, Ladine, getting more minutes at that guard spot, and she has been effective. 6 points, leading the Huskies and keeping them within striking distance of the Cardinal.
Just like that, and love to see her get hot early, especially coming off those jumpers when you're not getting many looks outside of jumpers off of screens. If you're the Huskies, if you can hit those, that can be really, really volatile.
Erie Offen working on Daniels. tough take. That's a power move, and she draws contact.
Textbook
It's going
right
to be
here.
Noble picking up the personal on the reach.
Textbook though, not dropping the shoulder, just moving into the defender. Basically, get out of my way. On my way to the rim. Kiki Iriafen.
Kiki Iriafen, kind of a smirk on her face. That was a tough move, taking that contact, drawing the foul. I mean, such an impressive talent.
And almost
6'3" sophomore out of Los Angeles, and has not started the last 5 games, moving around to try to get offense on the floor, and she's coming up big.
And to discover that she can do that, it's kind of a light bulb in the head. I mean, Delia Daniels is the main post player that's going to get minutes in here. If she can do that to Delia frequently, she's going to take advantage all night.
Beautiful spin move off the window for El Ladine. A pure scorer coming out of high school. Had a career-high 10 points against Cal on Friday night, and she is feeling it now. She's got 8, 4 of 6.
What a time to step up against one of the best defensive teams in the Pac-12.
Well, just watching Ladine work this year, she had some tough buckets that just didn't go down, but she can score it. Beautiful backdoor, Hannah jump left hand, feathers it off the window.
And it's because they respect that three-point shot. You got to be up close to her at all times. And we know both of these teams run very similar offenses. They use a lot of cutting. So it's surprising to see, because they go against it so much in practice, to get any sort of back cut.
Yeah, Tara mentioned it. If you guys can't stop the Washington offense, it's our own offense. We know what they're trying to do. We're really funny. They both run that Shin Princeton set. Here's Haley Van Dyke, triggers the 3-ball and knocks it in. And the Huskies cut the lead to 6. So able to hang around against the Stanford Cardinal. Jada Noble with 2 personals. We'll take a rest with 3:51 left to go before halftime. Lauren Schwartz back on the floor. And now Ashton Prechtel will replace Kiki Iriafen. Prechtel, fantastic three-point shooter, 6'5", a different look. You have to change what you're doing defensively compared to Prechtel on the floor when Iriafen's on the floor.
Absolutely, because she can pop right here. She can pop out and hit that 3.
The Huskies defense with the pick, Tegan Brown on the move. Lopolo, tough kid, took a shot to the face. She's got a first aid on that mouth, and she's back on the floor. Van Dyke just hit a 3 and rolls in the mid-range jumper.
It's contagious. El Ladine reinvigorated this offense. Now the Huskies are 5 of their last 5.
Jump using the screen. Jumper off the back rim. Haley Van Dyke at 6'1", grabbing that board in traffic. Schwartz. Haley Jones goes down. And thankfully pops right up, lost her footing. Daniels working on Prechtel, an excellent post defender. Oh, backdoor cut just off the fingertips of Van Dyke. Good idea, but it will be a turnover.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a 6'7" player come in like Ashton Prechtel, you think maybe a defensive liability out farther away from the basket or just in general, but they loved her defense against South Carolina. She was great against Aaliyah Boston. Looks like she's just great post defender.
Prechtel, one of the 4 seniors for the Stanford Cardinal. Lopolo losing her footing, and now Brown steps in to take it away. 2-on-2 situation. Brown going right at jump. Can't get the transition bucket, and Haley Jones there. Now Stanford will push. Lopolo pull up, and it's true.
That was pretty, just in rhythm. Is that her first shot of the game?
It is her first, no, excuse me. First make on 1 of 2 attempts. Ladine feeling it, heat check, going in, points up and says, you bet.
No stopping me. Just lets it loose and holds one finger up in the air.
And that is her career high for El Ladine out of San Francisco, California. She knows all about Stanford basketball, grew up in the Bay Area, and you know it's big. First time you face off against the Stanford Cardinal, wherever you're from, but boy, when you're from San Francisco, she's feeling it.
This is a little bit about pride, and a step back 3 over a defender. I mean, she can't miss right now. Only has 2 misses, 5 of 7. And limited minutes. 11 points. I mean, have a game, El Ladine.
And she had a career-high 10 against Cal on Friday night, and now already with a career-high 11, and we're in the first half.
And she's taking and making the shots that Stanford wants to force Washington to take.
And a moving screen called, Tegan Brown on the ground. And that one going against Ashton Prechtel. So the Huskies right now feeling good. Stanford led by 11. And they have whittled that lead down to 3 here with just over 90 seconds to go in the half.
This place is getting loud. A great leadership opportunity for El Ladine as well. She's the first to hustle over and help out her teammate.
Pocket pass to Daniels, tough catch in traffic, and a foul going against the Cardinals, so she'll head to the line.
And I'm wondering if there's some family or some special fans here for El Ladine, because pregame she was shooting, and there was a section of fans that said, "Go El." So I wonder if she's got some family here today.
Here is Delia Daniels, the hometown kid out of Garfield High School, McDonald's All-American. And what a job she has done in her first year here in Seattle. Spent her first 2 seasons down at Cal, but returned home. The youngest of 7 kids. And she plays with that youngest child. She's got some spice to her game.
She also knows how to share. You better know how to share if you're the youngest child.
Manopu can't turn the corner, so she'll flip it back up to Haley Jones. A 1-point game here in Seattle, the number 2 team in the nation. Lopolo puts it on the ground, and then Haley Van Dyke swats it away. Daniels out in front, and Van Dyke gets it to her, can't get the bucket. Van Dyke there, Prechtel with the block. And now Schwartz, feet set, they get 3. And the Huskies come roaring back to take the lead. This crowd on their feet. Stanford gets everybody's best shot.
Truly, a target on their back all season long. This is the most excited environment I've seen all season. And they're playing, they're deserving it.
Trailed by 11 and now with a 2-point lead. Jump, 3-ball, back rim, Daniels skies for the board. And the Huskies can have the last shot if they choose. Ladine's been hot, gets it to Daniels, spins it up and in. The Huskies head into halftime on fire. A 10-0 run to end the first half.
Through the contact, off balance, everything is falling because the confidence started with El Ladine. Man, the Huskies can't be stopped.
Spinning it off that window. That's had some English. And this Husky crowd murmurs as they head to the concession stands. It is a Husky 4-point lead. They dropped down by 11, but now with the lead. And Tina Langley, the head coach of the Dogs, is with us. Time now for our Zayo Connection. Coach, what a run for your team. What was the real key there on that 10-0 run?
Well, I thought we locked in on the defensive end a little bit. Obviously got some big stops, and I liked our pace better on offense. We came out a little bit slow on that end.
Talk to me about El Ladine. I mean, she really fired this place up, buried some tough shots. What did you like about her first half?
Such a tough young lady. She's been working her tail off, and so just gets better every day at practice, and I love seeing her out here playing with such confidence.
Well, Coach, go get those adjustments at halftime. We'll see you back out. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
That is Tina Langley, the head coach, doing a fabulous job here on Montlake. And the Huskies trying to pull off the big-time upset. The number 2 team in America, the Stanford Cardinal. And the Huskies lead by 4. Time now for our Zayo Connection. Joining us, Tara Vanderveer. Coach, the run from the Huskies, they shot the ball really well. What kind of adjustments do you want to make on that end of the floor?
Well, I guess we left our defense in Pullman. You know, they shot the ball very well, and we scored the same, but you know, we need to move the ball better, and we need people to really take it personally. But you know, I hope that we can come out and get our defense going and get it going for the second half.
Always appreciate your time, Coach.
All right.
Good luck in the
Thank
second
you.
half. Tara Vanderveer, nobody better. The winningest coach in women's basketball history, 1,179 wins, and trying to get to 1,180 here against a Husky squad that has come out and played well. The Dogs ending the half on a 10-0 run. How'd they do it?
Well, a big part of it was Cameron Brink coming out with about 5 minutes to go, a second foul, and the Huskies took advantage. Ella Dean got everything going, and that confidence is contagious. You had Lauren Schwartz hitting shots, you had Haley Van Dyke, you had Delia Daniels finishing one at the buzzer to get this place loud, and this is a great atmosphere here in Seattle today. Man, the Huskies could not miss at the end of that run.
Yeah, they shoot 54% in the first half. The most, or the highest field goal percentage allowed this season for a game was 41%. They allowed Gonzaga, who's a top 25 team. So the Huskies coming out and finding a way. They were very patient, and they did not go at Cameron Brink. They just put it out of the paint. And so far, that strategy is working.
Yeah, we know Tina Langley is all about efficiency. So what's the best shot for you at any given moment? Anytime Cameron Brink is really close to you, within a foot or two, it's not an efficient shot because you have to change your shot to go over her outstretched arm. And Ella Dean was taking the shots that Stanford would prefer Washington to take. They were off of screens, they were pull-up jumpers, and that happens to be what Ella Dean is fantastic at, especially today. She wasn't afraid, she was not intimidated. She came out, took her shot, and her teammates caught fire too because they saw that go in. It's Stanford, it's the second best team in the country. Sure, that can sound intimidating, but once you score against them consistently, it's just basketball.
The Huskies able to hit 4 threes in the first half on just 7 attempts. And they start with the ball here to begin the second half. Huskies have not beaten Stanford since in the Elite Eight back in Lexington, Kentucky. The Dogs beat Stanford with Kelsey Plum, Chantel Osahor, that crew to go to the Final Four. Since then, it's been 11 straight Stanford wins. Noble hit a 3 already, triggers the 3, too strong. Van Dyke fighting for the rebound and takes it away.
Washington has the edge in rebounds. At half, they had 12. Stanford had 11. We talked about it. This is the #1 and #2 team in the Pac-12 in rebounding margins.
Stanford has only been out-rebounded 1 time this season. Washington only 1 time. Haley Van Dyke open 3 short. Oliver gets a rebound and another possession for Washington.
Offensive rebounds can change games.
Schwartz left open for just a quick window, lets it go, and fighting for the rebound, Haley Jones winds up on the deck. That foul will go against Trinity Oliver.
And wow, when you look at totals, Washington has taken 31 shots, Stanford 23. A big help is that rebounding advantage for the Huskies right now, 14-12.
Huskies have 5 offensive rebounds to the 2 of the Cardinal. Here's Haley Jones, hounded by Haley Van Dyke.
Get a little bit more with Haley and Cameron together. Really get Cameron going in this second half. That's what you want to see if you're Stanford, because she didn't play a whole lot in that first half because of fouls.
Haley Jones triggering the jump shot, too strong. Oliver with that rebound, and the Huskies will set up their offense. Daniels sees Brink, and that might be the first block of the game, but it lands in the lap of Oliver, who gets an and one opportunity.
Great job by Trinity Oliver to be near the basket, use her body, and it had a little bit of a mismatch down low with Lopolo down there. Take a look at it. Definitely gets tipped, or maybe just a little bit short because it's a hard shot. Trinity just grabs it out of the air.
Can't get the three-point play, but Van Dyke gets the O-board and puts it up and in. The Huskies continue their run.
It's offensive rebounding. You see Fran Belibi checking in. Tara wants a change. Somebody's got to get rebounds.
Jones in the lane, won't roll in. Daniels takes it away from her own teammate. 2 Huskies in the area for the board.
And that's what Tara meant at halftime. Take it personal, especially if your own player is getting offensive rebounds instead of you. Got to have some pride.
Stanford allowing a 4-0 run to the Huskies here to start the second half. 4 on the shot clock. Oh, Daniels wide open, and she puts it in past the weak side defense. A 6-0 run for the Huskies to start the second half, and it's a 16-0 run overall. And that ball just sticks right in there. And that's about the way I think that Tara Vanderveer is feeling right now about her squad. Just, man, stuck in the middle right here.
And this shot came on the fact that DeLeo was patient. A lot of people will want her to take that mid-range shot, but she didn't. She gave it to Trinity Oliver, set up a screen, and gets that pick and roll. She is so good at waiting for the right bucket. She knows she doesn't have to do all the work for this team because her team cuts well, passes well, shoots well when they're patient.
So on the alternating possession with that ball stuck, that is the rule. It remains Stanford basketball. Belibi on the floor. Working on Oliver in the lane, tosses it to Brink, and she'll spin around and take the bucket with the foul.
And you know Cam's feeling a little under the weather when she doesn't get crazy after a three-point play. Close to the rim. Man, she's got great extension. Normally she's the one that's real fired up after that.
Stanford with that bucket, breaking out of a 16-0 Husky run between the second and third quarter. And she completes the three-point play. Cameron Brink with 8 points now, just 5 attempts from the field. And a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. She has yet to block a shot. She's had a block in 35 straight games. Schwartz gets in and gets it by Brink, but certainly affects that shot. The layup no good. And Haley Jones saying, let's go. Calling out the set as her team on the road is down. Jumps 3, no good. And Haley Van Dyke grabs her 8th board. Belibi out on the perimeter to guard Schwartz. Daniels in the lane, spins it by Brink, but that is off, and Jones with another rebound. Three ball, Dimitri, that was pure, didn't touch any part of the rim. And so Tina Langley will take a timeout. Stanford on a 6-0 run over the last minute. But the Huskies still with the lead by 4. Stanford trailed by 10, but on a 9-0 run, and they have closed it. The Huskies lead by 1, 44-43. Tune into a special episode of Pac-12 Our Stories as we celebrate Black History Month, including a can't-miss feature following Pac-12 student athletes on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Selma, Alabama. Pac-12 Our Stories Black History Month premieres this afternoon at 4:30 on Pac-12 Network, or download and watch the latest episode anytime on Pac-12 Now. The Card led by 11 in the first half. The Huskies roared back a 16-0 run. They took a 10-point lead, and now Stanford with a 9-0 run of their own, and it is a 1-point Husky lead with the ball.
It's a big difference when Cameron Brink is in the game. A big part of that run was when she had to leave.
Haley Van Dyke, step back three-pointer is good. Haley Van Dyke in double figures now to join Ella Dean. Van Dyke with 10. Dimitri, another triple try is pure. That's her 4th made 3, and it was from the corner right in front of her bench.
Oh my goodness. To step in and just shoot with confidence when not everything else is falling for your team. This is, again, what she did at Oregon, providing that confidence. Who cares? Shooter's mentality. Shoot. Keep shooting. That's what Tara wants you to do. That's what your team needs you to do.
Stanford has 8 McDonald's All-Americans on their roster. Dimitri is one of them. Reese in traffic. And the whistle blowing against Stanford. That will go against Fran Belibi. That's her first personal. Nobody in foul trouble on either side, as we've got 3:40 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Nobody with more than 2 fouls.
Haley Jones finding her again in the corner, this time a little deeper than the last one. But again, Haley Jones, the catalyst. And Stanford has had a lot of changes this year. It's fun to see players like Brooke Dimitri step up when they lose Lacey, Lexi Hull, Anna Wilson. That's 14 years of experience right there. And players like Brooke Dimitri need to come into their own. That's 250 starts between those 3 players. So Tara has had to mix around her lineup, and she needs production out of players like Brooke.
So Darcy Reese, the senior out of Australia, with 4 points and 2 of 2 at the line. She will take a rest. Aaliyah Daniels, the starter, back on the floor. The Huskies leading scorer and rebounder. Brink in traffic, takes the lob and scores.
Such a great feel for where the defense is. There's a few players in this league that are better at sealing down low than Cameron Brink, and she goes and gets it. There's almost no ball you can throw that she can't reach.
Lauren Schwartz had completely sagged off Belibi, but Belibi lobbing it to only where Brink could catch it. Brink now in double figures. She's got 11. Van Dyke on the cut, and Jones, a little too much contact. She will pick up the personal.
Using the height and the vert a little bit. That's 6'4" on 6'4". Defense can't come fast enough, especially when you keep the ball high. Really important for Cameron Brink.
Haley Van Dyke putting together a solid effort. 11 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 8 rebounds. That is her season high. And she tied with those 8 rebounds. And so Haley Van Dyke, another kid out of the Bay Area, Walnut Creek, California, Campo Lindo High School. 1,000-point scorer here in Seattle for the Washington Huskies. 3 is off the mark. Van Dyke with another rebound. She's got 9, a new season high. El Ladine onto the floor, working on the career high 11 points.
Now fans are going to want her to shoot every time she touches it.
I'm sure she wouldn't mind. Schwartz. Van Dyke fakes Belibi, gets her in the air, and the jumper swirls out. Brink grabs the rebound.
You have to like the shots that the Huskies are getting on offense. They're efficient, they're good looks.
Pull-up jumper off the front rim. Daniels tracking that one down, and now Ladine finding Schwartz. Pump fake, gets Brink in the air, and then she drops it to Daniels. What a connection.
Great awareness. And she distracts the defense, Lauren Schwartz, because she's driving so hard.
Oh, she's gonna pull it. Heat check Dimitri, and that one misses everything. That was deep. She pats her chest. Hey, I mean, I'm sure she's already drilled 4 of them.
Look at that. Draws 3 defenders. Delia Daniels, a great sense of where to cut. I think that's why she loves playing in Tina Langley's system.
Huskies with a 5-point lead. Schwartz given a little bit of room. And Dimitri on her knees to grab that rebound. And then Jada Noble, seeing the susceptible position, tries to reach in. Instead, she will be called for the foul. And that's going to be the 3rd foul against Jada Noble. And she claps her hands together in frustration because she knows with those 3 here in the 3rd quarter, she's going to have to take a seat.
But what electricity she provides, always. Even if she's just out there smiling, letting her team know everything's okay.
So Tegan Brown will replace her, the true freshman, along with El Ladine, facing off for the first time against number 2 Stanford. Collision in the lane. Brink and Schwartz, and Brink is in some pain, and this is what you do not want to see.
Yeah, there was a collision initially with Lauren Schwartz and Haley Jones, and then Lauren Schwartz kind of fell back into Cam Brink.
Looks like Brink is going to be okay. We mentioned not feeling 100% today.
But you have to give credit Lauren Schwartz for her defense on Haley Jones this second half. Haley has not scored in the second half.
Dimitri, she's hot, and she hits number 5. She has been on fire off the bench, and the former McDonald's All-American having a game.
She needs half an inch of air to get her shot off.
Brink skies for the carom. And now she's running the floor. The Cardinal will be patient and set something up.
And now Lauren Schwartz is on Brooke Dimitri. Have to face guard her at this point.
Brink going at Daniels in the lane, spins, tosses it over the top, fighting for the rebound. And last touch by Belibi, it will be Husky basketball.
This is where Stanford can become really dangerous offensively, though. If you have an outside threat, can start pounding that ball inside. I mean, don't stop shooting, Brooke, for sure. But that will draw some of the defense out where Washington can't sag back, where so many teams have done lately because Stanford hasn't been shooting well from 3.
Brooke Dimitri putting the Stanford offense on her back. She's got 15 points off the bench, 5 of 7 from deep. Oh, Lauren Schwartz holding her ankle, and she is in some pain. And she is a tough kid out of Union, Kentucky, and you rarely see her flinch. Oh, the Huskies already down at the guard position. Hannah Steins, who has been coming off the bench for the Huskies, had to leave the game on Friday night against Cal with an injury. She was on crutches as she left last night. She is on the Husky bench, but in street clothes. And Lauren Schwartz, one of the toughest kids that you're going to find, is needing help to get off the court right now and grabbing at that right ankle.
She's such a leader on this team, too, a floor general, confident, and she was just trying to make a back cut, and that right ankle gave out. Yeah. So tough to see, because she's also so good at that back cut.
And the leadership from Lauren Schwartz, career start number 101 here today. She followed Tina Langley from Rice, the Kentucky native, and hope that she's able to get back out there as soon as possible. In the meantime, the Huskies now down 2 of their guards. No Steins, no Schwartz. Tegan Brown gets it to Van Dyke. Shot clock winding down. That one is short. And now Haley Jones has some room out front. Gets it to Brink and 1. And Cameron Brink fired up as she should be. The 2 All-Americans connecting. That's as pretty as you're gonna find.
Almost like an assist off of that missed bucket. When Stanford gets that, they're going the other way full speed. These 2 read each other's minds. And they have to get this whole team fired up. The bench just went crazy.
And Cameron Brink knocks down the free throw to complete the 3-point play. What a finish to the 3rd period. And Stanford will head in to the final frame with the lead. They trailed by 10 and have worked it all the way back. So the Huskies getting that big 3 from Ladine. They slice the lead in half. It is 3 for the Stanford Cardinal.
Ladine's got all the celebrations, too. A little flex after that one.
Oliver gets it to Daniels. Lauren Schwartz back on the bench after turning what looked to be her ankle. Shot clock winding down. Brink rips it away. She sniffed out that pick and roll. Oliver losing her footing, but pops back up. Daniels trying to hold her ground against Brink. And she forces the miss. Noble open in the corner. Can't get it. Fight for the rebound. And Brink able to get it to Haley Jones. Daniels and Brink, two aggressive players, really going after it right now.
Great defensive players, too. I mean, you saw how high Cameron was trying to take that shot, keep that ball way above her head, because DeLea's right there with her.
Oh, Ledeen with a steal. Gets in the lane and then just tosses it to Van Dyke on the other side for the layup. Noble punching it away from Brink. Fight for the ball, and the Huskies coming away with it. This crowd is energized. Huskies trail by 1. Ledeen takes contact, and she will head to the free throw line. Ledeen with 3 steals to go along with her career high 14 points and 3 dogs in double figures.
Look at this, reading the floor. Haley Van Dyke always finds the open space. They're pushing the ball, and Washington is turning Stanford over. 14 turnovers for the Cardinal, 10 for the Huskies.
Tina Langley has done such a nice job with her team. Every coach you talk to says how hard this Husky team competes and how well they scout their game plans, and they certainly have come prepared today against the uber-talented Stanford Cardinal. Ledeen misses the first. Just her first attempt from the line today and knocks down the second. And she's up to 15 points to lead the scorers for the Huskies. Dimitri with 15 to lead the way for the Cardinal. Jones flashes open. Belibi, nobody within striking distance of her. This crowd is loud. Jones, oh, so smooth, off window.
When you need a bucket, there's your leader, your senior leader, your All-American, calming this place down, calming her own team down. High efficient basket.
So just over 5 minutes to play in a 1-possession game. The Huskies down 2 with the ball. 3 on the shot clock. Ledeen will force it up off the back rim, but Van Dyke tracks it down, and now she hits the Ledeen that's cutting to the rim. The connection from Van Dyke to Ledeen.
The offensive rebounds. Haley Van Dyke hungry for those boards. That's 9-0 boards for the Huskies. This feels like 2017. This feels like those Kelsey Plum days. Chantel Osahor.
Oh, what a move. Back-to-back buckets. Jones spinning it off glass.
Once again, silencing this place. Not quite silent, but at least putting people back in their seats for a moment.
I mean, Haley Jones, most outstanding player of the Final Four on that national championship. Ledeen gets that shot tipped. I think Belibi got her fingertips on it. It should be Husky basketball. But the Huskies not going away. Stanford put together a run to end the third quarter, but the Huskies hanging tough. Well, there have been some battles between these two teams. How about Kelsey Plum going for 44 against the Cardinal, but couldn't get the win. Tara Vanderveer got career win number 999 in a showdown that is one that you're not going to forget if you were there.
No, the Cardinal were down 18 at halftime, and they came back. Brianna Roberson, Brittany McPhee, incredible games for them. And my favorite part, Tara Vanderveer saying afterward, graduation for Kelsey Plum doesn't come soon enough for me. Speaking for all Pac-12 coaches.
And Kelsey had a laugh because she did beat Stanford back-to-back times, including in the Elite Eight, to make it to the Final Four. And he shot off the mark. out of the timeout. So Stanford with the 2-point lead and the basketball.
These fans are getting what they paid for. An incredible game between two great teams today.
South Carolina beat UConn earlier today, so thought there was a chance as Dimitri fouls Noble on the rebound. But Stanford trying to take over that #1 spot in the nation. They got to get a win here today, obviously, but South Carolina will hold on to that #1 overall spot with the 4-point win over #5 UConn. But business at hand. Noble sees Daniels in the lane. She kicks it to the cutting Oliver, and we are tied.
The way this team cuts and finds open space is so impressive. This is the second year of Tina Langley's system. Wow.
Oh, that is just unstoppable. The double screen set up top. Jones rejects it and just goes right at the rack.
That's 3 times now that she has answered to Washington's score.
And a collision, and that will go against the Huskies. They say moving screen on Haley Van Dyke, who has put together a stellar game. Van Dyke, the 5th-year senior, 14 points, 10 boards, the double-double. First of the season, but 8th of the career. Oh, that is a collision. You're glad both players popping up okay. It's been a physical game. I mean, you were in the heart of the Pac-12 season. The Stanford Cardinal.
Lauren Schwartz.
And Lauren Schwartz back into the game. She is such a tough competitor. Tina Langley says the most competitive kid on the roster. And boy, you know how much she wants to be a part of what would be a gigantic win for the Washington program.
No doubt. And is she going to be mobile? That
Jump.
right leg.
Off the back rim, Noble with the rebound, and Brink reaches out, makes contact, and they will call a foul on Brink, and that is #4. And she immediately looks over to Tara and says, nope, let me play. Please let me play. But we see Kiki Iriafen getting off the bench. Just 2:44 to go in this one. A 2-point game.
If this goes to overtime, which it very likely could, you need Cam Brink. She's a game changer.
Ladine, best game of her career, 17 points. And she'll trigger the 3, too strong. And the whistle blows, looks like foul on the weak side. And that will be the 5th team foul, so the Huskies are gonna get free throws. That foul goes against Hannah Jump, and so Lauren Schwartz, the 4th-year junior, played 3 seasons at Rice, and now in her, 2 seasons at Rice, now in her 2nd season on Montlake, coolly sinks that first free throw.
Wow.
She drills a pair, clutch at the line. And she's got 9 points. 3 Huskies already in double figures.
This matchup right here is big. Haley Van Dyke trying to slow down Haley Jones.
And a timeout by Tara Vanderveer. Nice job by Daniels fighting for position against Brink. They couldn't hit her. And so with 12 on the shot clock, Tara Vanderveer wants to make sure that they get a good shot. I mean, she's got so many players to go to, but you're down there drawing things up in the huddle. What do you think Tara's saying?
As of late, you've got to go with Haley Jones. She's going to get closest to the rim. I mean, Brooke Dimitri was fantastic, but right now you got to get a for sure bucket, and Haley Jones makes it look easy. She can elevate above for a close jumper, set her up, like you said earlier, kind of a double screen action as she's going downhill. No one's going to really be able to slow her down, stop her. I'm curious if Washington tries to switch screens.
It's been really fun to see the balance on both sides for Stanford, they have 4 players in double figures. They've taken turns dominating. Dimitri, Brink, Jones, and Jump all with 10 or more. And having to go all the way back, Oliver trying to chase things down, but Jones is there. 9 on the shot clock. Brink, jumper off the back rim. Daniels grabs the carom. And in a tie game, 2-minute warning, folks. You don't want to go anywhere. This is a good one. The Huskies have not beat Stanford since 2016. Ledeen turns the corner, flips it up with the left hand, and the Huskies have the lead.
Those handoffs are like screens, and they've played them so well all game long. Washington has stuck to their identity.
And another timeout by Tara Vanderveer, and this crowd on their feet. 90 seconds to go in what would be a huge victory. Remember, on the farm last year, it was a 1-possession game with under a minute to go. And the Huskies had a late turnover, and Stanford hung on in the final game of the regular season. And Elle Ledeen, a true freshman, wasn't there last year. She's got 19 points to lead all scorers. But what an opportunity for the Huskies.
Making great decisions. She's playing fearless. She doesn't care who is in front of her. And she's making smart basketball moves. She's playing with a really high basketball IQ. Like you said, 19 points, I believe 8 of 15. She's not afraid to take any shot. And Washington has played their pace this whole game. Stanford has not made them uncomfortable.
And Oliver rips it away. And a whistle comes. Is it a jump ball or a foul? It is a foul against Fran Believy. So Tara Vanderveer calling a timeout to set up a play, and the Husky defense instead jumping. And with that foul, they will head to the free throw line. They don't have to score against the outstanding Stanford defense. Chance to make it a 2-possession game. Trinity Oliver, the 6th-year senior transfer from Baylor. The first one rattles off.
You already turned it over. You can't add on with a foul when you know you're in bonus. That's a really, really hard play to come back from.
And the second one rims out. The 65% free throw shooter and a national champ at Baylor. She has played in big games. Can't knock in the free throws. 1-possession game, and that one is deflected. Brink ends up on the floor. And so they're going to go to the monitor to see who last touched it. But right now, the call on the floor is Stanford basketball with 17 on the shot clock. And they overturn it. So it will be Husky basketball. And it's Delia Daniels making the defensive play, getting up there to make sure Cameron Brink, who's got that reach of 6'8", wasn't able to haul it in the paint. And so where do the Huskies go here?
Well, they're fantastic in this chin offense. And all these cuts, anytime they're moving, all their movement, they've got to continue that. Keep Stanford on their toes, keep them rotating.
Lauren Schwartz bothered by an ankle injury, not on the floor. She is the clutch player that the Huskies go too late. 5 on the shot clock. Ledeen has an opening and misses everything, but Noble grabs the rebound, and then the whistle blows. I think Minnie Luna asking to check the shot clock as that ball did not hit rim. Minnie Luna, one of our great officials in the Pac-12 conference, on it.
Yeah, I don't think it hit rim.
The Huskies have absolutely done work on the rebounds. 11 offensive rebounds to just 2 for Stanford. And if this doesn't hit rim, it would have been a shot clock violation. Yeah, that clearly doesn't hit the rim. So this is going to be Stanford basketball from another angle. Nope.
And I don't think in the last...
Unless there was still some time on the shot clock.
Left. But there was an offensive rebound by the Huskies.
So 1.3 seconds on the clock. So they actually do tell the tenths of a second, which is helpful for both teams defensively to know you've got to immediately push up. Tara Vanderveer asking for some clarification as Tina Langley huddles with her team.
And how many seconds did it take Washington to get that shot off Lauren Schwartz when they sent it to overtime against USC? That was a quick shot too, but this will be on the baseline. That was on the sideline.
And it's a place that you practice a lot, these baseline out of bounds plays. So 1 second on the shot clock.
Catch and shoot.
Into Van Dyke, it hits the rim, and it is no good, and Hannah Jump clears the rebound. Stanford basketball down by 2. True freshman Lapolo guarded by true freshman Ladine.
And Haley on Haley. Switch.
Jones spinning away from the defense, and Daniels clears the board, and she is fouled. And if that's Cameron Brink's foul, that's number 5. And the Huskies calling a timeout. And this is going to be curious because if it's a whistle, I don't think on the foul. Tina Langley wanted immediately to call timeout to push the ball in the front court to run a play. If it's a foul, obviously she doesn't want this timeout, I would assume, because they will head to the free throw line.
Exactly. And just on this play, all game long, Cameron Brink's length is what we've talked about, but Delia Daniels' length on Haley Jones. They switched. Haley Van Dyke was guarding a Haley Jones originally, got the screen and switch, and Delia again comes up big on defense, gets the rebound.
That rebound right there, the defense to stand straight up, move her feet, the quickness to stay with the explosive Haley Jones, and then grab that rebound in front of Cameron Brink. Delia Daniels, both ends of the floor, has had a major impact, and she's got a double-double now. 14 points and 10 boards. One of 3 Huskies in double figures. And our jockey difference maker with a 2-point lead, it's Elle Ladine, the Husky freshman out of San Francisco, California, with a career day, 19 points. And how about this weekend? She will be up for Freshman of the Week. You better believe it. She had a career high 10 against Cal and a career high 19. Huskies need to get the ball in. Finally, they trigger it, poked away, and Daniels recovers it. And she will be fouled. Kiki Irioffen reaching out to foul Daniels, who is a 78% foul shooter, which is another area where when you have a big that can make free throws, it is such an advantage. She was 87% last year at Cal.
Yeah, you don't have to sub her off offense, defense. You want her on all the time.
So she has a chance to make this a 2-possession game. The sophomore out of Garfield High School. Leaves it short, kind of
legs.
Puts her feet together. It's different when you stand up at that line with the crowd hushed. It's different.
And she's played so many minutes.
Gets the second. And so the Huskies lead by 3. And this is where Stanford is oh so dangerous. The number 2 team in America. Brooke Dimitri has made 5 threes in this game. She is 5 for 7. Hannah Jump, one of, if not the best 3-point shooters in the nation. She's hit 2 today on 7 attempts. And coming up after this one, you don't want to go anywhere. 7th ranked Utah in Eugene to take on the Oregon Ducks. India Rogers. And I think that's actually transposed. It's Alyssa Peely who's got those 20 points per game, and India at 15 points per game, but a battle between 2 of the best scorers in the conference. And Peely's so clutch. You know the Ducks are hungry, though, to knock off that 7th ranked team. And the Huskies hungry to complete the mission. They had a chance down on the farm last year, but Stanford's so clutch, so good. Came back to make the winning plays and got that victory, and then, of course, went on to win the Pac-12 tournament. and go to the Final Four.
And Washington had tough turnover late in that game, and this is where we're seeing Washington grow. We have not seen them turn over the ball and hurt themselves in their chance to get this huge upset. Right now, the pressure's on Stanford. 22 seconds. They're down 3.
The last time Washington has beat Stanford was back in 2016 in the NCAA tournament. Lob over the top. Brink has it, gets it to Dimitri, and it's off the front rim. Ledeen covers up the rebound. And the Huskies have a chance to make it a 2-possession game. They get a big stop.
This crowd can feel it. They want that number 2 upset. And Tara clapping after this play because this is exactly what she wanted. It was run to perfection. All the focus over on Cam. Dimitri comes around the side.
Ledeen, the true freshman, clutch. That was a big one. Makes it a 4-point game, 17 and a half seconds to go. And she rolls in the second. She's got 21.
You cannot foul.
Dimitri from 3, no good. Daniels rips the rebound, and then she is fouled. What a board for Daniels in traffic, and the Husky crowd can feel it. This crowd on their feet.
Delia Daniels, the enforcer. What a rebound. So many important rebounds.
And she drills the first free throw, a big one. 6-point lead. And that one is just about gonna do it. Jones scores it. And she gets it into Ledeen. Whistle comes. They call it a tie-up, but the possession arrow with Washington. And so 1.4 seconds to go in a 5-point game. You just throw it the length of the court.
Yeah.
Make sure it stays in bounds, and the Huskies need to touch it.
Right.
Or not. Daniels will take it, and the Huskies have done it. The upset here on their home floor. They knock off the number 2 team in the nation.
This is what you play for. These moments.
A crowd of over 4,300 today coming to see one of the best teams in all the land. And they got an upset as the Washington Huskies knock off the top team in the Pac-12 Conference and the number 2 team in the nation. Ledeen, the true freshman with the game of her life. 21 points in 28 minutes. And this crowd staying to thank these dogs for a performance they're going to remember for a long time.
Ledeen, welcome to the show. She just introduced herself to Husky Nation.
The San Francisco native with back-to-back career-high games. And my friend, she may not just be the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week. She may be the Pac-12 Player of the Week. What a job. The Huskies did it. They knock off the Stanford Cardinals 72-67. What a performance. And that's going to do it for here in Seattle. Washington 72, Stanford 67. For Alyssa Charleston and our entire Pac-12 Network crew, I'm Elise Woodward saying so long from Seattle. An upset was finished by the Huskies.
Another big game of the day, Stanford and Washington. Woo! Charlie, how good was this one today? Number 2 Stanford in Seattle on the road. You see Ariafen getting the first bucket there. That was a part of the 13-0 Stanford run early in the second quarter. Here we go. That's when Ladine Day started. She started to pick up. What did you like about her game today?
Ladine did it all, and she is going to be a prolific player scorer in the Pac-12 conference. But it was Delia Daniels, it was Haley Van Dyke, it was a balanced scoring attack, it was executing your game plan perfectly. Really getting the right people, the right shots at the right time, discipline. You didn't go to the block party.
You didn't. You didn't get the invite.
And you're plus 10 on the boards.
Cameron Brink right there with the and one, but she had 0 blocks in this game. Washington played a near perfect one, and there we go. Ladine again with that layup. Got close here in the fourth quarter. Stanford didn't go away, and Washington didn't let them. Haley Jones with the reverse layup. That puts Stanford up by 2. Jones finished with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. She's always going to pad the stats. But Ladine, 21 points, career high for the freshman. This was the last play.
Watch this. Great pin in on the backside lob. They went to Brooke Dimitri, who had 5 threes for the day. Great execution. Just didn't get it to fall.
Just didn't get it to fall, and it was a upset. Washington Husky does it. Delia Daniels, she had 15 points. Our crew caught up with her after the game.
What does it feel like right now to be celebrating a win over Stanford?
Man, it feels good. It feels good. I'm just so proud of our team. You know, this was a team win. We weren't even worried about our offense. We knew that we had to come out here defensively and just fight. We know that talent means nothing. The toughest team, the most disciplined team is going to win at the end of the day, and that's what we did. We prepared for this team, and I'm just so proud of our girls. They fought. Shout out to Ella Dean. She came out and was ready. Like, that's a freshman. That's a freshman.
Didn't look like it,
Didn't
right?
look like it, no.
Delia, talk to me about the battle down low. I mean, as good as you were on offense, you were fantastic on defense. The matchup with Cameron Brink, 6'4" on 6'4", you guys gave us a show.
I think Cameron got some height on me, but you know, she's a tough competitor. She's a great player. You know, she's one of the best, and I just want to come out here and be the best for my team. I didn't care what the rankings were. At the end of the day, you know, I had to be tough for my team, whether that was facilitating. I knew it wasn't just going to be about me. I had to make sure I was getting my teammates ready, and we came out, we battled, and it was our defense at the end of the day.
What does it feel like to do something this big in the first year you've come here?
Man, oh my gosh. I have no words. Shout out to God, for real. Shout out to my family. You know, it's been a hard past couple years, but I just kept fighting, and Coach Langley and the staff saw something in me, and I saw something in them, and I'm just so grateful that they took opportunity on me and brought me to this program. I'm just so grateful for all these girls. These are great people, great players, but even better people. And tonight we were just some dogs. That's what we were. We were some dogs tonight.
Some dogs. That's what they were. What a great win. So you upset the #2 team in the country. How big was this win for the Huskies, just in the grand scheme of things?
Well, first of all, I have to, Delia Daniels, great mudite, you know, just talking about her freshman teammates, you know, celebrating everybody. I love that as a coach. And I think it's been coming for Washington. They really had the edge in close games. Now, if they were playing Utah, maybe they wouldn't have. But, you know, Stanford's been putting people away, not had a lot of one-possession games. Washington has. And so I think they earned it. It was their due, and I just want to give a shout out to Tina Langley and her coaching staff. You know, just a tremendous job this year of growing this team. And I love this stuff. I love the celebrations. And
I love it.
I mean, obviously Stanford's going to be fine. They're going to come back. They're going to get back to controlling the boards and doing what they do. And have the pieces to win another national title. But fun to see a growing, up-and-coming program do what they did today. And I don't know, you're never perfect.
Right.
You know, so I liked what Delia Daniels said. We were dogs.
We were dogs.
We just worked. You know, we kept punching, and we found a way.
They found a way, and you can tell it was a lot of the preparation, too. They weren't driving into the block party. They were shooting mid-range jumpers. They were doing all the things they do well. But let's talk about Stanford for a second. We don't want to take anything away from this Washington win, but how can they learn from this moving forward?
Yeah, well, and it's hard to learn when you're always winning. So they will take this harder. I mean, that is a championship caliber team, and they will get back to owning the boards. And even just taking care of the ball a little bit. They were -5 in their turnover margin, which they have been up on turnovers a little bit, but they had been doing better at it.
Yeah.
So Tara Vanderveer's the all-time winningest coach ever. So I'm sure she'll have a little bit of a list, and I'll be looking forward to watching them next week. But they'll be fine. And again,
They'll be fine.
Brooke Dimitri stepping up and bringing all that offense, that's going to bode well for Stanford moving forward.
Definitely
Yes.
a confidence boost when you hit 5 threes.
Well, they just need more perimeter shooting.
Yeah.
You know, that's when they don't have that. Washington not only executed their offensive game plan, but defensively, you know, they're able to play off of people. They're pinching. Cameron's not getting any single coverage, and that's hard.
Yeah, they had more options rather than Hannah jump at the end. So Stanford will bounce back. They'll be fine. But
They'll be fine.
Shout out to Washington.